and recently joined, and a little bit about myself. So first and foremost, the territory that I've taken on here with CMLS will be east of the Fraser River, here in the Lower Mainland and up into the interior. So absolutely adore the interior, come out a couple of times a year at least. And now that this is my region, looking forward to hopefully visiting you guys all in person here in the near future. So yeah, I started in the lending world in 2005. Started lending with RBC, and have been in this space since then. Have worked with some of the big banks, and most recently spent some time, 6 years actually, with Manulife Bank prior to joining the team here at CMLS. It's been an awesome experience thus far, and you know, it's an amazing organization and a lot to offer. And of course, coming from the world that I've come from, a lot of experience working with clients, and dealing and working with clients, right? So really looking forward to making that transition over here and working with you all. And please do feel free to reach out. I'm up and running now. You will see an intro email here from me in the near future. But again, looking forward to working with y'all. That's a little bit about me on the personal side. Sorry, on the professional side. On the personal side, a huge sports fanatic. So in my spare time, you can catch me probably watching some sports or playing some sports. And on another exciting
Hold
note,
up, what kind of sports?
All sports. But first and foremost, I mean, I grew up playing soccer, basketball, and of course, do love football, specifically the NFL. But if you meet me in person, you'll know that my body type is not for football, not for American football, that's for sure.
You've got a few huge NFL fans on here.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that's brilliant. So always down to talk some football. But yeah, and another exciting note, my wife and I, Helena and I, are expecting our first child, baby boy, coming in October. So a lot of exciting stuff happening, and life is good. Life is good, my friends. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. And like I said, I do look forward to meeting you all in person in the near future, if at all possible. But do feel free to reach out to me anytime with any questions. And that being said, any questions at the moment before I pass it on to Anna?
I think that Deb's probably going to ask, like, this is very important because I know you've got big life changes happening. So in terms of gender, etc., for the baby, well, no, never mind. That's not going to be the question. What team do you root for?
Oh, you gotta specify the sport there, Pete, and I'll.
Okay, it's gonna be for Deb because football is number one. So let's start with American football, which should be called hand egg. But then also, secondly, let's talk about real football, which is soccer.
Yes, absolutely. So I am a avid Seahawks fan, so I do take in a couple of games a year if at all possible. So on the NFL side, I am a Seahawks fan, but I do battle with a lot of my family who are Niners fans. Brent is a Niners fan, or who do you cheer for there, Brent?
That would be the Texans. It's embarrassing at the moment, but it's going to get better in the future.
Oh, cool. Pumpkin, it'll be okay.
I know. I'm not worried. Everybody else is more concerned for me than I am.
Yeah. On a cool note, I did actually attend, or not actually the game, but all the festivities in Houston when the Patriots played the Falcons. You know, flew into Houston, amazing city, awesome food, great people. So yes, on that, Seahawks for sure. And then from the football that I play, soccer, and again, as Brent would say, I'm probably not so proud at the moment, but I am a Manchester United fan, and we're struggling.
To say the least.
To say the least. Yeah, so again, do look forward to working with the White House team, and please do reach out in the future for any of your needs. Look forward to working with you all. Back to you, Anna.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to go on with the boring stuff, but I do try to keep it brief. That being said, feel free to interrupt with any questions. That's what I'm here for. So this is a little dated, and then we're still getting excited about 2022, but I still think that it's really applicable because they're my favorite things to talk about when I talk about CMLS. One is jumbo loans. Right now, we have one of the better ARM uninsured products or rates in the market at prime -50. As you may or may not know, any mortgage amount that is over $1 million, we actually discount by an additional 5 bips. So you can offer your clients prime -55 for any loan amounts over 1 million, and you get paid 100 basis points for that. Renewal.
Anna,
Yeah.
it's very rare that we have mortgages over $1 million up here.
That's all good. There is the odd one that may come up, so, but I totally understand. In any case, the uninsured ARM is still a great rate. Renewal versus upfront commission. I'm a big fan of our renewal commission. It takes 10 basis points off your upfront commission that we pay you. And you'll see it on our rate sheet. This rate sheet is old, but the rate sheet still looks the same. So it lists your upfront and your renewal finder's fee. For any deal that you submit, if you don't specify in your notes, which you would like, we'll always give you upfront commission. So there's someone in the, oh, they're in now, okay. If you do want the renewal commission, just add it to your notes, and then the underwriter will ensure that you get that. The reason why I like the renewal commission is that currently a lot of clients are choosing variable rates. And obviously variable rates are a lot lower than fixed rates. And so they're really helping clients qualify, as we all know. What the renewal commission model does, if you choose that, is let's say in 2 years from now, if fixed rates were to come down and your clients actually want to lock in, we generally offer clients a 5-year term when they come to lock in with us. If they lock into a new 5-year term 2 years down the road from us, we will pay you on the additional time added on to their term. And that's if the client comes to us directly, or if they do it through you. Either way, you would just get paid and you wouldn't even have to know that they've done that transaction. Same thing goes with, of course, if they renew with us or early renew with us, or if they come to us directly to do a refi, then you would just get paid and you wouldn't even have to do anything for the deal. So it's something to keep in mind. And it also, of course, depends on the relationship you have with your clients. Amy is our technology. So I know a lot of you work frequently with CMLS, so this isn't news to you, but we don't have a broker portal. Amy is sort of what the technology that we have in lieu of that. And Vimal, feel free to interrupt me anytime if you want to add anything as well, please. Amy is great. It does any of our auto approvals. Sometimes, as you know, with auto approvals, it may not always give you the rate that you asked for in your notes. So the underwriter will pick it up and fix that and then send it back to you. Also, if you ever need a status update, for example, I get a lot of questions on who's my underwriter, because sometimes we may or may not catch the emails of the submissions. They should be going to Vimal now, but if you want to know who your underwriter is on a deal, you can just send an email to askamy@cmls.ca and put the deal number in the subject line, and it'll spit you an email back immediately. And same thing with, if you're wondering, did my deal fund yet? You can send an email to askamy@cmls.ca with your deal number in the subject line, and you'll know right away if it's already funded on that day. Our customer loyalty program. This is also a great program for clients who want to do refinances or ports and increases, anything like that. We can look at giving them a rebate on their penalty, if there is one, and if they want to come back to us. And then the partnership program, you guys are part of the partnership program with us, and that qualifies you for appraisal rebates of up to $214 on any CMLS requested appraisals. We do have a form that needs to be filled out and sent to us post-funding with the PDF and the invoice. And that's for any uninsured deal, refinance. And then of course, we do also offer appraisal rebates on any transfers. So if on a transfer, we ask for an appraisal, normally we would refund you up to $350. And then our HELOC. Are most of you familiar with our HELOC already?
No, I don't think we've really tapped into it yet.
Awesome. It's coming, actually, I didn't say this, but I worked with Vimal at Manulife. So we've all ended up here together. And so we're pretty well versed when it comes to HELOC, having worked with the Manulife one for so long. And there are some things that we can do with our HELOC that other lenders can't do. So it's pretty exciting. I'm going to talk about it briefly. My favorite thing about our HELOC is doing an insured or insurable switch on the mortgage portion and then adding a HELOC for additional funds. What we do a little bit differently, you know, we're all trying to be unique, or it's the way that we operate at CMLS, is we actually register 2 charges. So that always means 2 applications. But the advantage of registering your mortgage as a transfer in, if it's insured, it would stay insured, so you get the best insured rates. And you would now have the, you know, a lower loan to value, so you have room to add a HELOC. Then you add your HELOC in second position. Because it's a separate charge, you can actually use our HELOC to do a debt consolidation of any unsecured debts to keep your TDS in line to do the transfer in. So that's something that's really helpful. And, you know, as things are slowing down right now, maybe look at your book of business and see who you put into a high ratio mortgage 3 years ago. And maybe it's a good time for them to consolidate some debt, because we all know that statistically speaking, clients refinance every 3 years, and that's generally to pay out unsecured debt, right? So if you look at your book of business of anyone who did an insured mortgage 3 years ago, they more than likely have enough equity build up to now add the HELOC and consolidate their debt. So you can do a nice transfer in for them at 4.59 for a 5-year fixed or prime minus 90, and add a HELOC in second position to consolidate their debts. Another thing that I like is I'm doing a switch right now actually with the broker where the clients are insurable and at 70% loan to value. So what we're doing is we're doing a switch over and keeping the mortgage portion at 65% loan to value to get the better rates, and putting the additional 5% into the HELOC. So you can break it up like that. I'm going to talk a lot more about transfers because I feel like they really are a jam. At CMLS, we do transfers really well. But if you have a collateral charge, you can reset amortization on the mortgage portion to 25 years as well. The same thing actually, and I just found this out yesterday, you can do the same thing with an uninsured mortgage. So we do uninsured transfers as well. If it's collateral, you can reset the amortization to 30 years. So you're really helping your clients by lowering their payment, and you can do a no charge switch transfer in for them. This is more specifically about how to transfer in the HELOC, because again, it is 2 separate applications. The easiest thing to do is if you're doing a Mortgage Plus HELOC app, submit your mortgage portion and then copy your application into a new file. And then you want to secure it LOC, refinance, and second position for the second file. And then that will be your line of credit portion. The caveat is that the mortgage portion on the mortgage plus HELOC with us has to be insurable. So just make sure it meets insurability guidelines. And if you're confused, call Vimal or call me, and we can talk over the phone to see how we can make it work. Insurability guidelines are always confusing to a lot of us. And we do have a really good relationship with our insurers. So if there's like an odd sort of one-off scenario, we can always go up and ask them about it. Vimal, we've had a few already since you've started where we actually had to go to Trish Hall from Canada Guarantee and go, can we keep this insurable? How do we make this work? So always ask. And then just really briefly, so the GDS TDS does change based on credit score. We do need a minimum of 680. And I should also mention, because the HELOC is second position, it's considered a refi. So we will always ask for an appraisal. Again, keep in mind you have your appraisal rebates of $214 on that. And as well, the second charge registration, it's also done by FNF. But the client will have to pay to register the HELOC. So that's around $500. So you can basically do a refi for them at insurable rates for $500, right? Any questions about that so far?
Just a quick question. Is your variable rate a adjustable rate mortgage, or is it a variable rate?
It's adjustable.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we always recommend is, you know, set your payment as if you were taking a fixed rate today. And then you're going to make your extra prepayments with every payment you make. When prime rate changes, as we all know it will, probably not for any new clients at this point, but if it happens in the future, we'll recalculate their payment based on the principal balance at that time. So hopefully by making those extra prepayments, A, they're prepared for a larger monthly payment or however they choose to make their payments, but also they are they've already reduced their principal. And now another nice thing is that the HELOC can offset increased payments. So even though the HELOC rate will increase, if a client needed to put some funds into the HELOC to sort of keep their payments at bay, they can keep in mind they only make the interest only payment on the HELOC portion, right? So sorry, my dog, someone just broke by on a bike. They only make the interest only payments on the HELOC portion. So if they have a balance on the HELOC, that can help them have an overall lower payment, even though, as we know, same as if you re-amortize or actually with a VRM, you end up paying more interest over time, but it does help you keep your payment lower. Does that make sense? Awesome. So I used to only have the presentation about the HELOC, and then I would get to the end of it and everybody's like, yeah, but what are your niches? So I've added this, and I think it's really great for you guys because we love insured and insurable rate or deals, as you know. And for insured and insurable, we have a ton of flexibility. So I've already talked about transfers. So we do standard transfers, collateral transfers. You can reset amortization on collateral transfers. We do take 10 basis points off your comp, but clients get the same rates and no cost. Enhanced transfers means we can do a covenant change. So you don't have to do a refi to remove a borrower of a mortgage. Let's say you had a cosigner, you want to take them off and now add on a new spouse. You can do that with us on a transfer, but the client has to pay the legal fees for the covenant change. So that's separate, but it can still be handled by FNF if they choose. We support new to Canada, alt-stated income, spousal and family buyouts, and even flex down. For insured and insurable business, we should be able to lend anywhere as long as our insurers support. So I know in the past, we were more picky about location. I can tell you that I have done deals in Logan Lake and Port Alberni and areas where other lenders have been more hesitant. So it's been really, really great news. I'm not going to talk about subject rentals because our program really isn't that strong right now. And I've already addressed the jumbo loans on here. Currently, pre-approval or rate holds are only for 5-year fixed insured. We add 10 bips to the rate, so we're holding 2.64 right now. No, 2. Oh my gosh, that would be nice. Sorry, 4.59. We're holding 4.69. 4.69.
We're recording this, so just so you know, you might see some submissions at 2.64.
Correction. I'm living in 2020 or pre-2020. What else did I want to address? Okay, so we do have an approved appraiser list. If you do file with us and we need an appraisal, please use the approved appraiser list to order direct. It becomes a big nightmare if we get an appraisal from an appraiser that's not on our list. I've been asking for a few exceptions lately and it really stalls your deal. Net property taxes for all owner occupied, even uninsured. So you can always take off the homeowner's grant. And our rental worksheet is one of the best out there. We allow you to use it for just one non-subject rental property. And it basically takes your entire rental property out of TDS, and any surplus you add back to income, shortfall goes into liabilities. And the nice thing is if your subject deal is insured or insurable, so let's say you have clients and they're buying a new property and they're turning their current one into a rental, if their new purchase is insured or insurable, you can use economic rents on that worksheet. And yeah, probably the best one out there. We also allow you to do 100% APAC for suite income, but has to be 680 plus beacon and an insured insurable deal again. So there you go. And that's a summary. We're also, Vimal and I, we actually have a call after this and we're asking about lagoons because I know those are big for your area or the interior more specifically. So we're going to find out if we can do those.
Sorry, did you say lagoons?
Lagoons, yes, lagoons.
So a septic field?
Yeah.
I thought my mind goes to like Shrek and his swamp, but
it's almost like that.
Almost like that. Watch too many cartoons.
Currently it's a no, but hopefully
we okay. No for Shrek. Okay. Yeah. I do have one question about location. You mentioned that you've opened up your location and area. Do you lend, or does CMLS lend in the Yukon?
No.
That was a really long
Not in the Northwest Territories, unfortunately.
Okay, so no Yukon.
Yeah.
It's really pretty up there.
Anna?
Yeah.
Did you say you will go out of the area? Like I just landed one with Prince George. It's a house and 40 acres. Do you have a limit on acreage?
10.
Only 10? What if it's insured? It's going to be CMHC insured or insured.
Yeah, we mostly work with Canada Guarantee and Sagen, and 10 is our max. Yeah, 10 and no outbuildings.
Okay, so 10. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
David Iverson has asked the question, did you say that we could deduct the homeowner's grant from property insurance? Sorry, he's saying property insurance. I'm assuming that he's saying for property taxes, can you use the net property taxes?
Yes, on all owner occupied, even uninsured.
Even uninsured. Okay, super. That's great.
Yeah. I love the questions. That means I wasn't hopefully that boring.
No. So I have to ask, this is very unrelated to mortgage topics, but I really appreciate everything you've provided us. I have a question about your accent though. Where is your accent from? And it's not very noticeable. It's very subtle.
I moved here when I was 12 from Germany. Yes.
Nice. That's good. It's very subtle, but it was, I'm thinking Portuguese, Barbados, I don't know.
I've had that actually. Some people ask me, they're like, are you from the islands? I'm like Vancouver Island? They're like,
Yeah.
no, Caribbean. Like, yeah, man. And I'm like, no.
There is a little Caribbean in there.
I wish.
Awesome. Does anyone else have questions? Anything CMLS related? It's very interesting to me that we do like the mortgage and the HELOC separately as two different applications. Curious.
It's a big advantage. The only downfall is that your HELOC doesn't grow as you pay down the mortgage, right? That's the only thing. But it's nice because you can use it to consolidate unsecured debts. So.
How does the client access that line of credit? Are they given a debit card, checks? How are they given?
Oh, it's not that fancy. They can access it via the customer portal and just request that we send funds, which we would do via EFT into the bank account that they have set up with us for their mortgage payment.
And how long does that usually take?
It could be done within 24 hours.
Okay. Because usually with a line of credit, they get like a debit card or a check. So if they see something, they can just write it on the spot, right?
Yeah, totally. So not.
I see that Jane has her hand up. Jane, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just want to know how many rental properties CMLS is allowing.
3.
Okay. Is that outside of the subject property if there's a suite there? Or?
No, the subject property would be addition. So 1 primary and 3 rentals.
Okay, thank you.
So if the client doesn't have a primary, will you allow a rental?
No.
I didn't.
Aveo will. And I saw a question from David. Our uninsured is prime minus 50. In the chat. You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. If you guys have been watching in the chat, we've actually got Vimal's email in there. It's vimal.singh@cmls.ca. I'm sure we'll get notification from Anna about when Vimal comes on. So yeah, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's live right now and not just right in this moment, but for any questions, or like I said, your deal notification should be going to him now. So when you do submit, if you have any questions, he can reference your deal numbers.
And we still have Jeremy as our underwriter? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeremy is the best. He's so fast. Love him. I know you probably miss him dearly, as you are. No. He's actually, I prefer having him as an underwriter because he's really good. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Okay.
If we do have any other questions, I'm sure we'll email. But otherwise, thank you guys for taking the time out to do the presentation. I will have this video up on our, we've got a little YouTube channel that we've got all the lender recordings. So it's a nice little library for the brokers to attend and watch. So thank you guys for doing this.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Pete, Deb, whole White House team. Look forward to working with you all.
Sounds